everybody. Welcome. Today, this is my heirloom tomato themed grow along with me, but we talk about everything garden related, so feel free to ask me any of your questions. And I'll give it a couple more seconds here to allow some other people to join. Hopefully you guys have been starting your seeds for your tomatoes if you're in zones 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the warmer climates. We grow our tomatoes fall, winter, and spring. Summer is just way too hot. There's too many diseases. There's pests. And even if you get those plants to survive and live, they won't bloom and produce because when temperatures get 90 degrees or above, it messes with the whole pollination process and they don't even produce fruit for you. So also as the plants age, they also decline in production. So I personally like to just yank them all out and start fresh. I sow my seeds, I start sowing them in the middle of July with the intent to transplant the last week of August or like the first week of September, depending on where my transplants are at that time, how big they are, how healthy. I am in Central Florida, Zone 9B. And it doesn't get cold enough here to kill my tomato plants when I plant them and grow them during the winter. So I literally am harvesting tomatoes in December, January, February, while the rest of the country is covered in snow. So heirloom tomatoes are my favorite things to grow, but please feel free to ask me any garden related questions. I'm here to help all of you guys out and share my knowledge. First up, let me just make a very, very important announcement. There are 2 tomato seed varieties. I harvest my own seeds and I sell them on my Etsy shop, but my top 2 that always sell out as soon as there's more in stock. It's the Pomodoro Core Antico di Aquiterme. I just posted a video about it an hour ago. If you want to see what it looks like, it's a big Italian heirloom tomato, typically grown in Italy, used for sauce making, but it was by far my favorite variety that I grew last season. And I love it. It's huge. Not only does it make really good tomato sauce, but you can use it fresh. It's meaty, it's juicy, you can use it fresh. Most of the paste tomatoes are kind of drier inside, so you don't really eat them like fresh, but this one does it all. So that one is restocked. It's in my Etsy shop right now. The quantity that's there is it. I don't have any more. That was my last batch of seeds that I harvested before all my plants died, which now in July they're all dead. The heat kills them. So that one and the Black Beauty. Black Beauty is the darkest known tomato you can grow. When the sunlight hits the skin, it makes it even darker. So it's literally almost a black tomato. It's like the coolest thing ever. I also have videos of that, obviously, in my TikTok, so you can go find it. So go grab those 2 seeds, guys, because they will sell out. If you want to grow those varieties this year, they're going to sell out. They literally sell out in a day or 2. It's gone. I already have orders coming in, so I'm just letting all of you know. Go get them if you want to try them. I am growing minimum 10 plants of the Pomodoro this season because I like to make a ton of tomato sauce. And I want to make sure I have a lot of seed to last me all the way to next season. So anyways, thank you for your order. Everything will ship out tomorrow morning. I'm real quick about shipping stuff, especially since we have to sow these seeds right now. If you're in zones 8, 9, 10, 11, you have time to sow tomato seeds. I like to start the soonest possible so I can get my transplants in the soonest possible and really enjoy a long harvest. If you're in the warmer climates, we grow them fall, winter, spring. That's at minimum 9 months in a row of a growing season, which is insane. That's very long. I think typically, a season is 3 months. So we have 9 months in a row. You're going to harvest a lot. So I like to get mine in the ground as soon as possible. So I can start harvesting things in December, January, February, all the way until summer comes and kills everything. So, but that's a long time. Tomatoes, for example, the cherries will start producing for you in 3 months, more or less. The plums between 3 and 4 months. And then the bigger ones, they take a little bit longer. I mean, that plant needs to get big in size to output that kind of tomato production for those big beefsteak tomatoes. So I typically see those 4, 5, 6 months, depending on the variety. Some of them are very late, and some of them are a little bit more earlier, but every variety is different. And I encourage you to try growing lots of different varieties, because then you'll stagger out when you're harvesting different tomatoes. But anyways, so literally, I mean, the last time that I start tomato seeds to make sure that they grow and I harvest everything before summer comes is December 1st. So sometimes I will do another succession sowing December 1st because, in late fall, all the seed catalogs, the new ones are released with all the new seeds for the upcoming year. And most likely I find some interesting new tomato varieties that I want to try out. So I usually start purchasing them, and the first week or two of December, I'm starting another succession sowing, and I will harvest all those before summer comes, like in June. So just so you know, you have plenty of time. But if you really want to take advantage and harvest as much as possible, get them in as soon as you can. Like end of August, first week of September, that's when I'm doing it. Thank you so much. I see all of your comments, every message. I am equally as encouraged by you guys as much as you guys are of me. I love sharing my knowledge. You can email me. You can message me on TikTok, Etsy, wherever. I see everything, and I try my hardest to answer all your questions. The more knowledge I can spread and give out, just makes me happy. So I see all your messages. Thank you. They encourage me. They keep me going, because this is time consuming. But I'm doing this anyways. This is like my life. I've been doing this my whole life. So whether I'm here on TikTok with you guys or not, I'm doing this anyway. So how many of you have started your tomato seeds? Just like raise your hands or drop a comment or something. Who has started their seeds since last time we met last Sunday? It took me a couple days. Look at all my seeds. I don't know how many plants. There has to be over 100. So it took me like 3 or 4 days to finish all of this. Your seedlings 2 weeks ago, that's awesome. Normally like the second week of July I'm doing it, but I was a little late. I wanted to wait until I did this live TikTok thing on July 17th. But normally I've got them done by then. But I wanted to wait to do this with everyone. My Everglades, I see your comment, your Everglades are going strong. Typically they do well, but mine right now I guess it's all the heat. They're just not happy. And they're not growing, they're not flowering, they're not nothing. They're not dead yet. And they probably will survive. And once the temperatures drop, they will start flowering and producing again. All right, I see that you're a couple weeks behind me in zone 10A. Just get prepped. I mean, this took me a long time to cut out all these little holes and get my cups ready, fill them up with soil, pre-moisten it, all that. And I found that when I did all of that prep first, and I also put them in these are 10 by 12 trays. These are heavy duty ones that I got from my local aquaponics shop, because they tend to have these like really thick ones. Walmart sells these, but they're thin, they're cheap, they don't last me like beyond a year. So I got some really nice heavy duty ones, and this will fit 18 of these cups like squished in there. Makes it easier to transport them. So all of these here, well, these are some other tomato seeds in front, but all of them you can see they're in trays, because it just makes it easier to move them around and look at them and stuff, for me anyways, when they're in trays. So yeah, I prepped my cups. I put 18 cups in here, got them all nice, and wet with water, and then I was ready to start putting all the seeds. So that definitely helped, speeding up the process. Thank you so much. Our sweetheart cherry tomatoes have sprouted, but they're kind of wilty even under the light. It could depend on a lot of things. Is your soil too wet? You have to let it dry out in between watering. So, do the finger test. Stick your finger in there. If it's wet, well, for seedlings, if it's dry, like that first knuckle, yeah, give them some water, because their root system is not very deep. So that first inch layer is probably all that they have to absorb water from. Once the seedlings get, bigger, longer, their roots are going to tap further into the cup or whatever container you're starting them in. and then you have to water a little bit more deeply so that all the roots get that water. But I would definitely make sure that you are letting the water dry out in between. Make sure they have nice bright light. I'm sowing all my seeds on my screened porch patio, so there's not enough light here to make all my tomatoes happy. So I do have these shop lights. I just ordered a whole bunch more because I only have 3. So, and I need more. This is a 6 shelf unit, so I need a couple more so that every shelf has a light. But yeah, these shop lights are great. They're 5,500 lumens. I can drop them closer to my seedlings if I want, but they're actually pretty good right here. So, for example, here's some that I started from seed on the 19th. I think that was Tuesday, right? And they just started sprouting. This is my one of my paros. So, as you can see, this was the 19th. Today's the 24th, right? So 5 days, more or less. This is what they should start looking like. And it can take a little bit longer for them to germinate too. Can we see some of your, oh, I just saw your comment. Can you see some of my sprouts? Yeah. So these were started on the 19th. So about 5 days old, not even a week. So if they are happy and they have good soil, fluffy soil, and a light source and water, they will sprout for you typically under 7 days. There are some tomato varieties that are a little bit more finicky. They take a little bit longer. I would wait a full 14 days to make sure. If nothing has sprouted at that 14-day mark, something happened. You know, and then I would maybe decide to re-sow those seeds again. But usually I almost have like 100% germination with this whole setup and everything that I do. So yeah, nice and warm, lots of light. Keep it not too overly wet where the seeds will like rot in place, but let it dry out in between, and that's kind of what they should look like. I do have another sample that was started. I started these separately. Let me get this. This is Black Crim. This was started from seed July 3rd. So at this point, let me show you something. All right, these seedlings. This is the first set of leaves. This is called, I'm going to butcher this. I don't pronounce things right. These are, I believe they're called cotyledons. They're most plants, when you start them from seed, the first 2 that sprout are not like the actual leaf, not the mature adult leaf. They're called cotyledons. And it's just the very beginning stages of leaves. Then the next set of leaves that start from there are now the actual like adult first set of true leaves. And then when you get these, that's when you can start fertilizing your seedlings at half strength, whatever the directions of the fertilizer says. So I'm going to use a liquid fertilizer. So this is ready to start fertilizing. You don't have to fertilize your seedlings, but no, they're not leggy as of yet with that light like that. I keep it like that for 2 months and they're perfectly fine. So, and it's a 5,500 lumen light, so it's a lot of light. I actually had last season, I think I had the light on too long and stuff, and it actually kind of like burned the leaves a little. They look like white in certain spots. I think they were just getting like way too much sun or light, so I had to back it up a little bit. But the way it is been working out for me anyways. Yeah, you can start fertilizing when you get the first set of true leaves. I recommend a liquid fertilizer because, again, these root systems are not very mature. They're a baby root system, and you want something that they could easily uptake like quickly. If you use a granular fertilizer, it takes, you know, a week, couple days, couple weeks, whatever, for that fertilizer to break down and for that nutrition to be available to the plants. So please use a liquid fertilizer. Whatever you prefer, don't matter. I'm using Fox Farms. I love Fox Farms products. This is their Grow Big, so I will use this at half strength with my seedlings. It's pretty much the only time I use it is with my seedlings. Once I get my seedlings in the ground, now I switch to an organic granular fertilizer like Job's or Espoma. This is, I believe, technically not organic, but it's fantastic stuff. So I'm going to use it. How many hours a day do I keep the lights on? I keep them on, I turn them on as soon as I wake up in the morning, and I turn them off once it's starting to get dark. So that could be 10, 12 hours, depending. And I turn the light off because I believe they need to rest a little bit. I think it's kind of bad if they're like constant light on the whole time. Just like humans, they need a rest period. So 10, 12 hours is fantastic for tomatoes anyways. They're gonna love all of that light. So yeah, so this is from July 3rd. So this is about a 3 week old transplant. Next time we meet, or seedling, next time we meet, it's not going to be this Sunday, but next Sunday. All of the seedlings that we've started last week should be about 3 weeks old. You should start seeing those first set of true leaves, and we'll talk more about, fertilizing and all of that kind of thing. So between now and then, go get your liquid fertilizer so you have it ready. But yeah, so this is where we should all be at right now. This is a atomic fusion. This is a variety that is it's Brad's atomic grape, but a larger fruiting variety. First time I'm growing this one, so that'll be interesting and fun to see because Brad's atomic grape is a very interesting flavored tomato. It has like all different kinds of flavor profiles in it. So that's why a lot of people love it. And I thought, well, if there's a larger variety, even better, right? So I'm going to give that one a try. And this one is Black Krim. Surprisingly, I've never tried growing this one. It's highly recommended. Some people say that the flavor is like savory and salty. Yes, some tomatoes can have like a salty taste. One of the very first tomatoes I grew was Rutgers, and what struck me so much about it was that it had like a little saltiness to it in a very good way. But that was me for the first time realizing, like, man, homegrown tomatoes are like way a million times better than anything you could buy in a grocery store. I didn't even like tomatoes that much besides like tomato sauce before I started growing them myself. So if there's any crop that I could say it's worth growing if you want something more superior in flavor and taste and texture, it would be tomatoes. So yeah, anyone have any more questions? Today is not a very long session. I thought just to check in with you guys for like 30 minutes, just see where you're at, answer any questions. So we got about 12 minutes left here. But yeah, so I'm still sowing seeds for stuff. It's summertime. It's the first cold front comes in my area the end of December. Like usually it's like the day after Christmas. I swear. I track this stuff and it's always that week, that last week of December. So with that in mind, that kind of gives you an idea, like what can you start from seed right now? Anything basically that will produce for you or flower for you before your first cold front comes. So right now, I am, hold on, we've got the light on them about 14. Do you think that's 14 inches? Maybe, yeah. I think this is probably like 8 inches right here. When I get closer to the 2-month mark where they're ready to transplant, they are starting to hit this. So I try to put this like as high as I can at that point. But yeah, maybe like around the 8 inches. I found these heavy duty trays in a aquaponics shop in Orlando, Florida called, I think it's Root Grow Bloom, I think. I can't even remember what street it was on. It was like behind the airport or something like that, like off the road in some warehouse over there. Really cool shop, by the way. They had a whole aquaponics setup with tomatoes, like growing them indoors, and they were covered in tomatoes. Like I was very impressed. I've never ventured into aquaponics. I really believe like growing things in soil is important. So I don't think I'll ever go into the whole aquaponics thing. It's just too much chemicals, all that science and stuff. Even though growing in soil is very scientific as well, I do just believe a lot in improving your soil and building that up over the years. Oh, you have the light on 14 hours a day. I don't know. Do your seedlings look okay? I do feel last season I had the light on for a long time, and they were getting these white like blotches, and I feel like that was due to just too much light. But if you don't notice anything and they look healthy and they're growing, then it's probably fine. I also have 5500 lumen lights. I don't know what lumens yours are. So this is a pretty strong type of light. And I'm just going to say it again. For those of you that want to buy the Pomodoro Core Antico de Aquiterm tomato and the Black Beauty tomato, the seeds are available in my shop. That's the last I have. Go get them, please. I'm letting you guys know before I really start notifying everyone on social media that they're there. Your lights are 5,000. Try it. See what happens. Watch your seedlings. Check on them every day. If they look healthy, they don't have blotches, then do it. I think the most light you could give them, the better, before you pass that point of now you're harming them in some way. So experiment with it and let me know next time, okay? If you guys have any questions, if you guys take photos or post something on TikTok about your tomatoes, I want to see. So tag me on this stuff. I want to see. If you have questions, put the question in there. I'll try my best to answer. I love seeing your progress. It makes me so happy that my seeds are growing in other people's gardens. Just absolutely makes my day when I see that. I can't be sold out yet. I literally just posted those, unless something went crazy. Maybe the last time they sold out, I had like 40 some packets and they sold out in one day. Seriously. I mean, when I went live at 6 o'clock, I mean, so that's 22 minutes ago, there was a bunch in there. I don't know. I don't know the status of my Etsy shop right now. If it is sold out, I will not have more seeds until I start harvesting from the seedlings I've started now, which will be, I don't know, January, February. They are a bigger size tomato, so that they're going to take a little bit longer. You can't find them. I'm sold out? Which one? The Pomodoro? Send me a message. I'm literally going to go back and count my seeds. I have a tiny little baggie that I reserve seeds for myself, so I know that I don't run out, because obviously I need my own seeds to keep growing every year. Message me and I'll see what I could do for you. I appreciate you watching me and live here. If you want the Pomodoro, I guess it's sold out. That was probably the fastest I've ever seen it sell out. That is insane. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Listen, send me a message. If you're watching me, send me a message. I will go back there and literally count my seeds and see if I can send you any, okay? So please private message me through TikTok or find me on Etsy. Let me know, okay? Let me know you were watching me, because I'm not going to do this for anyone else. Those seeds are real precious to me. So I know I have a little baggie with some reserved for my own use, but if I have some more to share, I will make sure it gets to you. If it's way too hot right now, what zone are you in? If the seeds are sold out in my shop, that whole listing is going to disappear. It's not going to be there. And other people in this chat are saying the Pomodoro is sold out. So send me a message. Let me see what I can do. Even if it's just 5 seeds I can spare. Let me see. I hate that they sell out, because I love this tomato, and people are so interested in it, and I think that's fantastic. So I'm sorry. You're in zone 10B. Okay, so I'm zone 9B. You're a full zone behind me. It's hotter where you're at, definitely, for sure. You can, again, you could start your seeds now and just wait to transplant them like maybe the middle of September or the end of September. They will hold in these solo cups for 2 months. Perfectly fine. If you need more time, you think it's too hot outside, it's still too rainy, all that kind of thing, then you might have to pot them up into something a little bit bigger to give you some more time. The worst thing about it is if they get root bound and they get like tight roots in there, that can stunt like their initial growth. So you don't want to do that. But you can start them now and get a head start, or you can wait like 2 weeks behind me and get another start. You're basically like 2 weeks behind whatever I do. So that's great. You can keep watching me, and whatever I'm doing now, you can do 2 weeks later and like pre-plan for it. It's been 89 with 80% humidity the last month straight. It's been upper 90s where I'm at. I'm in Orlando. 9B. It's been 90s like every day. Today was, I think the high was 95 and no rain, like no relief at all for my plants. And they look really, really sad. They will survive. I just make sure, if the soil does actually dry out, I will water it. If I think it's going to rain that day, I won't water it, because then if you overwater, that's bad too. It'll cause root rot. And the high humidity is a big problem. You know, funguses, bacteria, molds, all those kinds of things, right? They love water and humid areas, right? And they will grow and proliferate. So the fact that we have that much humidity in our air right now just means all that stuff is spreading even more. It's landing on all the leaves of all the plants around your garden, and they're growing and spreading. So that's another reason why I don't like growing things that are very susceptible to diseases like tomatoes in particular during the summer. Like, it's too much. I don't want to be like spraying them with all kinds of chemicals and covering them in chemicals just to get them to survive. It's just not worth it to me. The only thing that I will use on them, and I've posted a video about this on TikTok before, is hydrogen peroxide. This is 3%. I get this from Sam's Club, like 2 of them for, I think, $2 or something. And I will mix this with water at a rate of 1 cup per gallon. Some people have commented that they do this with slightly more amounts of hydrogen peroxide. Whatever. I mean, I'm sure it works fine as well. But I find that 1 cup per 1 gallon of water is perfect. And I will douse my tomato plants in it, especially if we got a lot of rain for a long period of time, because that just means all those diseases are proliferating. They're growing in population. They're spreading. So I kind of like to clean all the plants off after a really hard rain or a long period of that. So this helps a lot. And this is practically the only thing I use on my tomatoes. The only other thing that I will spray my tomatoes with is spinosad if I see damage from worms, because my tomatoes get hit by these brown worms in particular. They're called army worms, and you know you got them when all the leaves look hole punched. Some people get the awfully dreaded tomato green hornworm. Surprisingly, I've never seen that in my garden. And this garden here, this particular one that I have, is 6 years old. I bought this house, my first house, 6 years ago. And I have never seen one green tomato hornworm. But if I did, oh my gosh, I would be spraying this like all the time. So this is spinosad. It is organic. It is non-toxic to humans and animals. Some people don't like using it because there's research saying that it could affect pollinators. I have researched both. Does it affect them or does it not? And there's research to prove both views. So I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. But with anything that I spray, I'm always practice with caution, okay? Spray in the evening when the pollinators are gone. And then that way, the leaves are all dry. This product will be all dry before the next morning comes and the bees come back to your garden and are touching stuff. And you'll be completely fine. I've been using this for a long time. I've never had more bees, predatory wasps, ladybugs, like everything in my garden. Every year, there's more and more and more coming to my garden. So I am completely fine using this product. It is OMRI rated and considered organic. But this is what I use for worms. Any kind of worm damage on your zucchinis, your squash, your cucumbers, use spinosad or BT for worms. Neem oil will not work for worms, okay? What's chewing out the base of all my pepper stems? Oh, I don't know. It could be worms. It could be worms. Or it could be rot. Right now, my pepper plants are really struggling. So peppers are kind of similar to tomatoes, but they don't like as much water. And so right now, with the rains that we're getting every day, the soil around my pepper plants are very saturated, and I can just tell they're not happy, and the base of them doesn't look that great either. So it could be that. It could just be too much water. Or you have some kind of worm that is chewing through it. Some people have told me that like squirrels and stuff will actually chomp the whole thing off. So that could happen too. But if it's something chewing at the base, it's probably worms is going to be my first guess. I don't really know how you would figure that out for sure unless you saw the worms. Check under the leaves. Are they chewing the leaves? Because normally worms go for the leaves, not hard stems and stuff like that. the stem of the plant. So check if it's root rot. Here's probably how you can find out. Take your fingernail and scrape just a little bit into the bark of that stem. If it's nice bright green, it's healthy. But if it's still like rotted looking or like falling apart or something like that, it's rotting through. That's what it is. But if it's like green and healthy, then it's not rotting. So try that. Take a picture or put it on TikTok and tag me so I can see it. It's hard to diagnose stuff unless I see it, right? That's always going to help a lot. But yeah, you can send me a message with your picture or post something like video is even better. So if you could post video on TikTok, tag me so I see it and I will try to answer your questions. It's healthy above and below the chewed part. Huh. That kind of sounds like something chewed at it then, if the rest of it is fine. Is it progressively getting worse, or was it like a one time, maybe a critter came out at night and chewed the bottom of the stem, like maybe and then left? That could happen too. If the rest of the plant is completely healthy, I would just watch the water then and make sure it's not root rot or something like that. And if it's root rot, I don't really know what to say. Once it happens, the plant is done for. If it's root rot, I don't really know what to say because it just rains here every day. Try growing next time. I mean, if it's got root rot, it's going to die. Try growing more in a hill. Like, that's how I plant all my fruit trees. And actually, that's how it's recommended in Florida. All fruit trees, because we are so close to the water table, they are very susceptible to root rot because all that water just stays there forever. So you plant them up on a mound, like a 2-foot mound. So I will take bags of compost and make like a big mound and then plant my fruit tree in it. And that has solved the problem. My fruit trees are beautiful, producing, healthy, no issues at all once I started doing that. But the same thing applies to like other crops and stuff that don't like water that much at this time of year. You're pretty confident it's not root rot. Then it has to be a worm or critter that bit into it. That's it that I can think of. But usually I've never heard of worms that just bite into the stem and not the leaves. The roots are super white and healthy. Okay. Oh, you know, I mean, there's also certain molds and funguses and stuff like that that will attack the stems of plants and eventually eat through it and choke the whole thing off. I hope that's not what it is. But if it's still healthy and stuff, I guess I wouldn't worry about it. Maybe it was just something that bit into it one day and never came back. All right, guys. So I'm just last call. Any more questions? Anything else you guys want to discuss before I leave for the day? Please message me if you want some seeds. So I have the ones that are sold out. Team wheels or team doors? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. My cherry tomatoes I started last week are the only ones that haven't sprouted. Should I try? I would give it 14 days. Make sure that they have bright water. And I mean, not bright water, bright light and ample water to get the, you know, seeds are dried and they're hard. They need to be reconstituted with water, and that helps them germinate and sprout. If it's been 14 days and it hasn't, I would think about at that point to restart seeds again. All right, guys, if you guys have any more questions, message me. I gotta go. It's Sunday. I gotta be with my family now. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with me. I will be back here in 2 weeks. 2 weeks at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully I'll see some beautiful, healthy seedlings. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening.